Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another Hangout on Air. My name is Mairead and I'm here in the AdWords team in Dublin, and I'm joined by my colleague Ruth.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Today we're going to be talking about remarketing and dynamic remarketing, a really interesting topic, so I'll let Ruth get us started.
Yeah, so if you're watching from our Google Plus page, you'll see a Q&A feature on the right. So feel free to ask any questions as we go along and we'll try our best to get them at the end. Alternatively, if you're watching from the AdWords community, please feel free to post questions as comments on the side and we'll try and get to those too.
Perfect, thanks so much, Ruth. Okay, so remarketing at its core is a feature that will allow you to show ads to people who have already visited your site. This means that you will be able to show the right ad to the right people at the right time. So obviously the burning question here is, how can we do this? So the first thing is that it's completely free. What you need to do is get a tag from within your AdWords account. You'll need to paste this on your site. Then using this tag, we'll be able to detect who's been on your site and essentially put them into a list. Then you can decide on what type of ads you want to show to these people on your list. Now what's great about this is we found that it has brilliant return on investment because you're showing really specific ads to people who've already been on your site. Maybe they were browsing there before, maybe they didn't make that final purchase. So why not target them again as they're traveling throughout the display network to try and make sure that we get that all-important sale.
Perfect. So the first step is to create a remarketing list in your AdWords account. Now, a remarketing list is a collection of cookies from people who visited your site. Now, creating a list is one of the most important parts about doing this because we use this list to target your ads. And, you know, if you're setting up a remarketing list for the first time, we'll have to create a list and generate the remarketing code. Now, in the AdWords account, if you're doing this from the very first time, all you need to do is go to the Shared Library section to the very left of the Campaigns tab. Then click on Audiences and select the View button underneath that. And then you will see a small blue button which says Set Up Remarketing. Immediately, you'll be prompted to just input your email address, where subsequently that code will be emailed to you. And what you'll need to do is paste that code across all the pages of your website that you'd like to remarket people to.
Perfect. So Ruth has obviously just explained there how you actually get the tag and how do you paste it onto your site. Now, she also mentioned that one of the most important aspects of remarketing is that you make sure that you set up a list. Now, you can get this list as granular as you want. So maybe you only want to show things to people who visited a certain page, or maybe you got to a certain aspect of your site. So let me just do a screen share and show you what a common type of list that we would see here. Now, as Ruth mentioned, the first thing that we have to do is go into our shared library. From here, we would just click into Audiences, and we will choose our remarketing list. Now, as I mentioned, a really popular one would be non-converters. So this will be people who actually went to your site but didn't make that all-important purchase. And they're really important people to be targeting again. So we have an option here to choose many different lists. In this case, I'm going to say visitors of a page who did not visit another page. But again, it's totally up to you to align it with your business goals. So in this case, I want those people who managed to get to my URL and that contains the word basket, because I know these people were really interested in buying something. However, I want to catch those people who did not actually make it to the checkout. So even though they put something in there, they never made it. And this is a really important segment to target, because then maybe I could send them a voucher code to entice them back in, or a free gift. Then all we have to do is click Save.
Great. So let's say you want to take this like one step even further. You can use another AdWords feature called dynamic remarketing, which lets you show those previous visitors products and services that they were looking on your website before. So with messages tailored to your audiences, dynamic remarketing allows you to build leads and sales by bringing those previous visitors back to the website to finish exactly what they started. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to use dynamic remarketing is to identify your business type. Identifying the right business type is really important because it determines what kind of feed, what kind of custom parameters, and what kind of ad layout we're going to automatically generate. So the options available to us are education, flights, hotels and rentals, local, jobs, real estate, retail, travel. And if your business doesn't fit any of those types, don't worry, there's always the other custom label.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks, Ruth. So Ruth gave us the list there of the variety of options that you could have. Now, probably the most common one we would see with dynamic remarketing is people in the retail business. Now, what this would require is that you would have a merchant center account and a data feed. Then what we would ask you to do is link up this data feed to your AdWords account. Now, the purpose of this is we'll actually be able to show people ads based on the items in your data feed. So if they visited, like Ruth said, a particular product on your page and they never actually made that purchase, then why not show them an ad specific to that? Now, in order for us to get this detail, you're going to have to make sure that you link your Merchant Center account with your AdWords account. This is really, really simple, really quick. So I'm just going to do a very fast demonstration of how you would actually complete this linking. So firstly, all you would have to do is navigate into your Merchant Center account. Now, in here, we just navigate down to the settings, click on AdWords. And again, all we'll have to do here is link your account and pop in the customer ID. Now, this is instantaneous. Really common question we get is, oh, can we do this from the AdWords side of things? You can't. So just make sure that you link up your Merchant Center to your AdWords account via the Merchant Center settings tab.
Perfect. But what happens if you don't fit into that retail category like we said? Well, as we said earlier, recently we've just launched dynamic remarketing for other categories, so you have those other options to choose from. And after you've selected your business type, you choose it as a campaign setting when you're setting up your dynamic remarketing campaign.
Yeah.
At this stage, you'll also set regular features such as budget, such as bids, and create your ad group which targets your remarketing list. So let's take a brief look at how to set this up, okay? So what we'll do is we'll go back into the AdWords campaign. We'll click on Plus Campaign and we select Display Network Only. So let's name this Dynamic Remarketing 1. And we're going to select the remarketing radio feature there, okay? And then what we're going to tick here is the box which says use dynamic ads, which, as we said, you show different users ads based on the products or services that they've already viewed. Now, this is the option here to select your business type like we actually mentioned. So, as Marie said, the most common one that we see here is retail, okay, which is what I'm going to select. But as just to briefly say again, those are all the options and the other custom option as well. So next, what we're going to do is set up, click on the Setup Remarketing tag. Okay, now Marie's already linked that, so we possibly won't see that, okay? But then what the next thing we're going to have to, I'll put in an other instead for this purposes of this. Now immediately what we're going to have to do is create our feed in the business data section of your shared library with the details that will be used in your dynamic ads, such as the titles, the description, the prices, and so forth. So I'm going to send this to example. And what that does is send us the feed layout. The next thing we're going to have to do is send the tag here. So the tag will have custom parameters which directly link up to the particular item ID that the individual was viewing. So it's really important to get that specific tag. So let's say example@gmail.com again. And select continue. And then we're going to return. And I've selected the all visitors campaign just for the purposes of that, but that's where you can select a number of your lists. I'm going to make my budget £20 a day. Okay, and then I'm going to have to select the feed as per, which is in your business data, and select save and continue. Okay, and like any regular campaign, now you have the option to create an ad group. So I'm going to call this, just say ad group 1. I'm going to put a bid at 10% of £2 a day. And here's where we can select the wide number of lists that we'd like to target. So I'm going to use conversion abandoners, okay, for the purposes of this, but you can also add a number of different remarketing lists if you so wish. And then we have the option to skip ad group creation, or that save and continue will take you directly onto that. So I'm just going to skip it for now. And perfect, and that's that campaign set up now.
So thanks a million for bringing us through that, Ruth. Now, as Ruth has just shown us there, she's actually set up a custom data feed. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to use the retail data feed, you'd have to link up your Merchant Center account with your AdWords. However, there are different data feeds that you can set up, such as the flight, education, and even a custom one. And just to point that out, if you're building your data feed, the rows would actually contain your products and services. And then, of course, the columns you're putting in things like your attributes, your descriptions, your titles. That's that sort of information. And so let me just direct you very briefly to the business data section of the AdWords account to show you where you would actually create your own data feed here. So again, this is going back into our shared library. Instead of ticking into the audience tab like we did the last time for the list, we're going to go straight into business data. Now all we have to do here is click on the big red button that says plus data, dynamic display ad feed. Now in this situation we could choose from education, flights, hotels and rentals, and for this I'll just go ahead and click flights and put in my flight feed. And then we would browse for our file. Now, as Ruth has already shown you, that would have been emailed to you in the setup of your AdWords campaign, or perhaps you might have just wanted to create your own one from scratch. All we would do here, browse from file, upload and apply. Something that I just want to mention to you briefly here is check your feed for the errors after you've uploaded it. They usually would show up within 3 to 4 hours and will actually tell you where you've gone wrong and what you need to do. So please make sure that once you've uploaded this feed and that you actually do check for any mistakes that you have made.
Great, thanks Mairead. So for the next part, you may need to involve your web developer, as it involves adding coding to your website. So the second part, which is tag implementation, involves adding the dynamic remarketing tag with the custom parameters to every single page of your website. This tag adds your website visitors to your remarketing list, and using the custom parameters with the tag will allow you to associate the particular visitors with the exact item IDs of the products or services that you were using. So in order to get this code, you need to obtain it from your shared library if it hasn't been emailed to you like we did it already. Okay, so we can again show you how to find this in your AdWords account. Okay, so like Mairead said, we're going to go back into our shared library as always. We're going to go now to the Audiences tab. Okay, and what we need to do here is in the top right hand corner, select Tag Details underneath Remarketing Tag. Okay, now what you need to do here is we select Setup. Okay, and then you can select the option here to view AdWords tag for websites, and we just simply, you can either copy and paste it from here if you so wish, but I always prefer to email it to yourself just for your own records. So we'll say example. And then we'll just click send email. Simple as that.
Perfect, great. So thanks a million again for showing us how to set up the tag. So as you saw there, there's a variety of ways. So if you do somehow lose that email, you know you can go in at any stage and pull the code there from your AdWords account. So don't worry about it. Ruth has already talked us through setting up an entire campaign. So we just want to show you how you would actually set up ads that are specific to a dynamic remarketing campaign. These are aptly named dynamic ads. So let's just do a quick demonstration of this. So Ruth, as I mentioned, has already set us up a dynamic remarketing campaign. So we're just going to jump straight into that and click on ads. What's different about this is, and what you may not be used to, is we actually want you here to navigate to the ad gallery. Now we want to choose, as I said, the dynamic ads, and we will choose here create. We have the option to choose from a custom image ad or a custom text ad. So let's go ahead and choose a custom image ad. We find that these work really, really well, especially in terms of retail when we're looking for that really, really visual aspect and we're trying to entice that customer to come back. So I'm just going to say that I really like this layout here, and what this is actually going to do is pull in specific products in line with your data feed based on the rules that you've set up and the custom parameters that you've included. So all I'm going to do here is say preview and save.
Great. Well, that's it for us, folks. Thanks, Mairead, so much for joining me today.
Thanks,
we hope you all learned something new about remarketing. Our next Hangout on Air will be at the exact same time next week, where we'll be talking about the other kinds of remarketing that you'll be able to explore. And don't forget that if you've any other questions on this topic or anything to do with AdWords, you can always contact us through the phone, through 24-hour chat support, Hangout support, or the AdWords community and social media platform. So that's it from us, guys. Have a great day, everyone, and best of luck with your new dynamic remarketing campaign.
Bye.
Bye.